Hello guys, this is Harika. Welcome to my channel. So before heading into the video, I'll tell you why this workflow has come up and also what you can gain by watching this video. So first of all, there was an interaction that happened with Vajrang on UiPath Forms wherein in a short period of time we have just come up with a use case and then worked on it and then which is related to UiPath forms. So that's where I have worked on multiple components like panels and invoking of the workflows. So if you ask me what I can learn from this, so here I have used binding of the panels with certain components and also based on certain action the forms have been invoked. So these are the things you can learn by end of this video. So without any further ado, let's go and head into the video. So before execution, I would show what is this panel is all about, design is all about, and give you some high level understanding about it. So let's open this form. So the first form is something like, it's a shopping site where the user have a drop down list. So basically it has books, costumes, and the laptops. And then these are the different panels that are available. And we have different buttons attached to that. And you can perform action based on your requirement. So let me just go and execute this workflow. So as soon as it runs, it is opening the form. So this is my form. So if you see the panels are not appearing and they would do after you click on any of the particular item in the drop down. So I would go and select books. So the book panel has been appeared with the check boxes. And if I change it to costumes, this would appear in the same way with laptops. So I can select any of these checkbox or multiple checkbox as well. And if I wanted to go for payment, I would go for head to payment option, or this will perform and open a new form which will have a payment option. So here it is. My payment form is getting executed and the form is here. So here I have an option to enter the credit card number. Let's say I would do that. And here we have a password field. So if you see, this is just a normal text box. I will explain you how we are doing all this. And these are the mandatory fields. And I'm saying confirm payment and that's all. This is the whole use case that I am working on. Let me just tell you one thing here clearly. So if you see here, first I'm creating a form. And in this, I have a drop down list. So we have different options inside the drop down. And based on that particular item, this particular panel has been displayed. So there is a connection that is established between panels and the items in the drop down. So I'll tell you how we can establish or how we can bind this particular panel with the items in the drop down. So let's go here and select one panel from the layout. So you can just keep it here and I can say shoes or something like that. So this is my shoes panel and then I'll just save this. So here I wanted to bind this to my drop down. So I should have an option in drop down also for selecting shoes. So in the data, I would add another item, which is shoes. So this will give me a value for this particular label. So you need this value. So copy this and you have a field key called select one and this label as select. So now let's save this and go to shoes panel. And here you have to bind it with a condition. This component should display. I would say yes, because this component has to display when the form component, that means we have seen the form component is select, has a value. So we have copied the value shoes. So this means the shoes panel has to display when this the shoes panel has to display when the form component has a value of shoes. So that's what we have mentioned a condition over here. And then we'll save this. And now you can just give some checkbox here saying any of the value you can just mention item names, just that's it. And then one more will give. Okay, it has gone here. Let's pull it over. And so now we have made a binding between panel and the drop down item. So let's go ahead, save this and run it how it will work. And now my form will get opened. And now I will have shoes also in my drop down list. When I select, the shoes panel appears here. I'll just select Reebok and then head to payment. So this form will get executed. And if you observe, we are having this as mandatory fields, right? So I would say, let's say I have only credit card number and I don't give password. And then if I go and this will be disabled because these are the mandatory fields that we need to give. Let's say I've give password, now this is enabled, but still if I just remove this, then it shows with a red mark that it is required. So that's where it's important to mention what are the mandatory fields are there with the asterisk. And I will show you how we can do that. And then I'm saying confirm payment. So that's all, my workflow got executed. So this let me just explain you the flow with respect to head to payment. Here the designer window is something like this. I just gave one text box and along with the password. So the difference between this is something like, if you have the validation field, we have something like minimum length, maximum length, all these options you can have and validate as per the requirement. And here you can say option for required field. And also this will be whatever the data you entered when you select the component as password, the data would be masked. So that's the advantage when you select a password field. So in order to ensure security, you can go for this component. So this is just a button. And also here, this one more thing that you need to understand is in this workflow, we are having two buttons. So based on the output of these two buttons, the action is performed. So let's say here I have add to cart. We have an option called as add to cart, which is a property name. So let's take this property name, and also the field key of this is submit. So based on the property name of that value, here we can choose what action needs to be performed. So let me just debug this and I can show you how the value, based on what value you can do it. We have an output called as on selection. So this is the variable that will determine what action needs to be performed. So it is just getting executed and then the form will get opened. Here in the form, just select something and now I'm going for add to cart. So here you can observe this is the value of the variable on selection. So value of this variable is add to cart. So that's where this then block is getting executed. So I've just gave a condition as we have only two options here. So that's where I am just mentioning like this. So two buttons, that's why this is sufficient. But going forward, maybe we have to do some enhancements. So I'll just continue with the execution. So the message, whatever is there inside this block will get executed. So you can see that in the output panel, adding to the cart, please visit again and happy shopping. So this is it, guys. So in this video you have learned how you can bind a panel to a item inside a drop down, and also if you have multiple buttons, how you can direct based on a particular click, how you can invoke a particular form based on a particular buttons field type. So these are the different things that you have learned as a part of this video. And also I'm going to do multiple videos on forms, like start various videos which explains about each and every component and how you can come up with different use cases on forms. So these are the videos I'm going to come up in future. So in order to not miss any of these videos, please do subscribe. And if you find this video informative, just share with your friends, colleagues, and everyone. So thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.